Good evening, Sunshine Coast, and welcome to another episode of Local Focus, and we're up to episode 19, I believe. And I'm your host, Darren from Digital Barista, where I serve up freshly brewed content strategies, tips and tricks to help small business owners and entrepreneurs get started with live streaming. And tonight we're talking plumbing. Like, this is probably something you wouldn't normally think we'd have a conversation about, but I've got a guy beside me that's really excited to talk about plumbing, and that's Mitch from AML Plumbing and Gas. Welcome to the studio, Mitch. How you going?
Yeah, good mate. Good dude.
Yeah. So you're a plumber and you love it.
Yep. Yeah, definitely couldn't see myself doing anything else.
So that's been your sort of business for the last, I think, about 18 odd years. You've been plumbing for 18 odd years.
Yeah, started my apprenticeship in 2002.
Yeah.
So yeah, still going strong and still love it.
Yeah, and you're a Sunshine Coast local or Bly local, so you moved from the country to the coast.
Yep.
Back in 2015. So and haven't looked back, hey?
No, it's been great. Been the best thing I ever did.
Yeah, well, I can't. Well, we were talking beforehand, and we kind of grew up only probably 35, 40 minutes away from each other. Yep. So yeah, interesting, small world. But so your business is AML Plumbing and Gas. So tell us a little bit more about the business and the services that you offer. Like, because I think people need to be aware of that. You know, gas is one of those things that not every plumber can do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like I noticed moving up here that a lot of plumbers don't do gas on the coast. Most of that's probably due to the fact that we don't have reticulated gas here. It's all bottled. You know, coming from out west, you've got all natural gas underground everywhere. So it's just like having a water meter. You've got a gas meter there, so everyone has that. So I think I found that as a bit of an advantage because other plumbers haven't got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you cover both all sorts of markets, domestic, commercial, industrial, all that sort of stuff.
So specialising in general maintenance, you know, renovations, insurance work, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Generally stick away from, you know, new homes. You know, I respect the plumbers that do that. I think that's good. They can have that. I like all the little tedious jobs, you know. And I've got plumber mates that they don't like the tedious jobs. They love those big jobs. So so you know, anything from a leaking tap or a burst pipe or a block drain or anything like that. You know, hot water systems. So yeah.
And I'm sure you've got some stories. You know that. You know, because a lot of people would think that, you know, there's probably certain types of calls that you wouldn't like to get as a plumber, but surprisingly, Mitch said he doesn't mind them all. Like, he doesn't mind dealing with other people's crap.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, literally, it's good. It's actually probably the only thing I don't like is cleaning out grease traps.
Okay.
When I was an apprentice, we did work at KFCs and Hungry Jacks, and when the baffles used to eat out, Mitch being the apprentice, had to jump down inside and scoop out all, you know, we sucked it out and then we'd have to scoop out the last little bit. So that's probably one of the most unpleasant jobs I've done is grease.
Yeah, it's not real nice. I remember when I was in uni days, I used to do some part-time work with my girlfriend at the time. Her brother would deliver meat to the butchers.
Yeah. And
you'd have to wear these smocks and you'd chuck the hindquarters and sheep and all that sort of stuff. By the end of the day, how could you do that every day? Exactly, but yeah, so I can certainly I understand where you're coming from there. And so you're very community focused as well, I noticed. You like to get involved in the community.
Try and help the community a bit. Done a fair bit of work for the Maroochy River Growing Club here. So, you know, like helping back to, you know, especially those clubs, you know, they're giving back themselves to the community, you know, helping, you know, they've told me some really good stories of some troubled kids that they've taken on board and, you know, made them, you know, giving the kids a bit more oomph in life and stuff. So, you know, I sort of like helping those sort of people out. And
and I guess that's kind of like the focus of what I'm doing here with local focus is trying to sort of reconnect the community, because I think, you know, with social media, we get so busy in our lives, and you know, social media is in a lot of ways the only medium where we sort of catch up with people. And so that's what I'm sort of just trying to reconnect small business with the community, so they can, you know, get to know people a little bit more. And I've said this time and time again, like, I can see people down the shops and stuff like that, and I know they run a business.
Yeah.
But I got no idea who they are or what they're about and that sort of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's just a nice way to sort of reconnect. And you enjoy a bit of fishing as well.
Yeah, I love me fishing. I've always grown up fishing, and I absolutely love it. So.
And you do something a little bit different, probably from the norm, I guess. You're jet ski fishing.
Fishing off the jet ski. So that's probably been a bit over 12 months now, and we bought a ski, and we just talked to a few guys that had an esky on the back and a fishing rod, and I thought that's a bloody great idea. So
I used to do the kayak fishing, so I can imagine jet ski would be much nicer.
At least you can run away from the sharks in a hurry. That's good. That's sort of a bit of downtime, bit of chill, bit of me time.
Well, everyone needs that. I think you've got to have your escape, and and we're in such a beautiful place. You might as well take advantage of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Now, I've got a few questions that I'm going to ask, and hopefully people will sort of relate to these, because a lot of us probably underestimate plumbing. When it comes down to it, is that they think, we can give it a crack. You're just going to put a couple of pipes together. It's not that hard. But when it comes down to it, there's a little bit more involved in it.
Yeah.
And so before we do that, now I forgot to do this one earlier, but we were talking about the history of the toilet, the flushing toilet. And a lot of people think that Thomas Crapper invented the flushing toilet, but we're here to tell you it wasn't Thomas Crapper. He perfected the flushing toilet, and I think they call it the ball cock, which is the little floaty thing in the top.
Yeah.
But it was some other fella 300 years before that kind of had that sort of idea. So good little bit of trivia for you there, guys. So let's get into these questions. So should I turn my water off when I go away on holidays?
Yes, it is a good idea. Done plenty of insurance jobs of people being away. Did one about 3 or 4 years ago up at Twanton, and a couple had decided they wanted to travel around Australia for 6 months. They'd been gone for about 3 weeks and got a dreaded phone call from their neighbour saying there's water running out of your garage. And unfortunately what had happened too, it had been raining for probably 2 weeks straight, so no one really noticed it until it stopped raining. Obviously the neighbours turned the water off and they had to come back from their holiday, and so the whole house had to be stripped out. They lost a lot of good timber furniture and stuff like that. And it was just from a washing machine hose they'd let go.
Oh, wow.
So, it was they were pretty devastated. Obviously insurance covered it, but there was a lot of items in there that just monetary might have been covered, but those had sentimental values.
That's it. And I think
it's definitely something I advise to people. If there's no need for the water to be on.
That's right. If you've got someone house sitting or something, fair enough. But if no one's going to be home, then it's a good idea to turn that off. So that's a good one. Now this one, I've got one of these. It's why do my pipes rattle?
It's a good question. There's not really one answer to that. There's a few different things that can be wrong.
Well, it's got this real chatter, like sort of just when you turn it on.
A lot of it. Older houses, a lot of it can be the pipe work may not have been clipped properly. The old clips might have broken. Especially in older houses, they've just banged a nail next to the pipe and bent it over and stuff like that. Pressure, too much pressure, stuff like that. Your jumper valves and your tap washers, they can shutter up and down, and there's a lot of it's sort of, I usually start with the easiest thing, and then we start going through. Nowadays they've got some really good what they call water hammer arresters, little air chambers, and they can work wonders. If you can't quite get to something, or but it is a good question. Like, people think it's just an easy fix, but there's a lot to it. So it's there's definitely a few different things that could be wrong. So
All right, and I'm sure every one of us have had one of these. What's the best way to fix a blocked drain?
Probably kitchen drains. Most people could probably avoid blocking their drains by pouring, fats and oils, food scraps. you know, they tend to have a good tendency, you know, all that stuff sticks to the side of the pipes and more keeps getting
Just
put in and
attracts
put
more
in
and
and put
more,
in.
yep.
And pig's the worst, any sort of pork or bacon fat. It solidifies in there and it's really bad. So that's probably the number one thing. You know, toilets, big debate. Us as plumbers have been fighting against it for years, is your disposable wet wipes in the toilet. They might say they're degradable, but they're not. England has massive dramas with this. They call them fatbergs. Their sewer systems are a lot different to ours. Theirs you can actually walk down inside.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they all get kitted up. They look like astronauts and they get down there and it's pretty foul if you watch some of them videos.
Ooh,
but
I don't think I want to.
Yeah, it's just from those wipes that they say they break down, but they don't. So that's definitely a big no-no.
I've even heard that tissues are a lot harder to break down.
Yeah, tissues and paper towel. Paper towels, again, yes, it, you know, with water it does disintegrate a little bit, but not, you know, toilet paper is...
It is designed to just break apart.
So not, or unless it's the old school stuff they used to have that was like grease paper. But
hopefully not too many of us are sporting that these days.
Yeah, I know. I don't think I've seen much of that lately. But so you know, there's definitely
maybe
things...
last year during COVID there might have been a few nasties getting
that's it. Yeah,
the lunch wrap out.
It's a rag and stuff. So you know, and obviously, you know, there's obviously other products that people flush down they probably shouldn't. You know, so sanitary
probably
products and stuff,
the best thing to do is think about what you're putting down your sink or your toilet. And,
that's, you know, that's definitely a good thing. But you know, all drains will eventually get blocked up. Showers in particular. Hair.
Well, we don't have to worry about that.
No, that's it. Yeah, we got no hair, so that's all right.
This is my brother from another mother.
You know, just the soap breaks down, you know, all your body fats when you're washing them off again, you know, that can. So there's a lot of different things that you don't necessarily can avoid as such. But yeah, there's obviously stuff that you can do to really try and prevent. And, you know, then you got the worst case scenarios of outside and broken pipes and tree roots and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
But
well, we actually had a tree root in here, like, and the toilet was backing up. And so you do that as well? You unblock so you've got one of those
we're
thingies?
We've got an electric eel and it's really good.
I've
got access to a water jetter too in different scenarios. I'd hate to know how many drains I've actually unblocked, but it's definitely a lot.
Well, I guess particularly here on the coast, because we're still a fairly green sort of you know, landscape.
So like before I moved up here, like in Toowoomba, you know, because Toowoomba was founded in the 1800s, and most houses there still have the old earthenware, you know, clay pipe, so it's notorious, and the big camphor laurels in Toowoomba don't help. So, but you know, that's something we can do. You know, generally it's unblocking them, and then, you know, we've got a drain camera, so we can stick it down, pinpoint where it is, how deep it is, and then that way we can go, you know, this is what we need to do and how much it's going to cost, and fix it permanently. Because, you know, if you've got tree roots in your drain, you've got a drama, you know, there's a broken drain. So it's not just, there's tree roots in my drain, they're in there because of a reason. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, next one, there's a lot of people into this game, and that's renovating. And so let's say we're just going to do a reno on the bathroom. Do I need to get a plumber in?
Yes, definitely. Like, you know, number one, you want to make sure it's done right. Number two, it is a requirement by law. Covered under the QBCC that it does need to, you know, any modifications or anything to the plumbing has to be done by a licensed plumber. You know, and this protects you yourself as the homeowner from something going wrong. And, you know, there's also obviously a big push with this DIY stuff now, and you quickly do your bathroom up and you hock it off to the next person's problem, you know, like, and there's plenty of people do that. I don't agree with it.
Yeah. And cheaper is not always better.
No, that's it.
I think I saw a post recently on your page, which we've got up there at the moment, and about a faulty faucet, like it was just like a cheap faucet sort of.
Yeah, it was a
mixer, I should say. Yeah,
just a little pinhole developed in the spout, so she turned the tap on and water started spurting up instead of down. So, and again, it was a, you know, cheap tap that had been put in a brand new house. It was a bit over 12 months old. You know,
goodness.
And, you know, that's it. Some people think, I'll go buy that cheapest product, but, you know, it's not. It's cheap now, but it's the year later.
That's it.
So, Yeah, so like definitely if you're doing any sort of, modifications in your bathroom, especially plumbing wise, there's a few other things that definitely need attention by other trades, but legally you can't do it. So that's probably a big no.
Well, and I didn't I assumed that you would need to get a plumber in, but I didn't know that specifically. So that's definitely something that I've learnt there tonight.
Yeah.
And what are some of the best ways to save water and energy costs? Because this is a big one.
Yeah, well, I do water certification certificates. So a lot of real estates, like rental properties, they changed the laws probably 10, 15 years ago that you could start charging the tenants for water usage.
Yep.
But if you were going to do that, you had to make sure your house was, water efficient. None of the old single flush 12 litre cisterns, stuff like that. So there's a lot of things you can do, especially older houses need it done.
Yep.
So yeah, we can do all that. It might be, sometimes you might have to change taps and toilets out. Sometimes with your taps, it's just a matter of changing the little aerator on the end of the spout. It might be a 10 or an 8 litre flow, but you can get 4 and 2 litre ones. Especially basins, people brushing their teeth, they love leaving the tap on, or kids, and I know my kids do that. So and same with the toilets, they've got the toilets down pat now. And like a lot of people just go, let's put a new cistern on, but if it's an older bowl, the older bowls need more water, so you generally have to change the whole suite. Because the new bowls are designed to have little amount of water.
Just for efficiency.
And so that's definitely a big one. We can do, even just for your own, at home. Not even necessarily for a rental or whatever, but there's some water reduction pressure valves we can put on at the meter. People think, I don't want to down my pressure, but most of the time it doesn't down your pressure anyway. It's more of just a safeguard. And you'd be surprised that obviously the more pressure you got, the more water you can use. So that's definitely one good way. Always just checking toilets and taps for leaks. You can lose a lot of water. You can lose hundreds of thousands of litres of water a year from a leak, and even just a dripping tap, or a little trickle in the toilet or whatever. It adds up. And not only are you wasting, precious water, water's so expensive now. So, so there's definitely some good ways you can, some, like I said, there's stuff you can do yourself to make sure, this tap's not leaking and this and that.
Excellent. So there's some handy tips there, guys, and hopefully that's answered a few of the questions. Those sorts of questions I see come up a lot. In plumbing circles, but thanks for coming in tonight, Mitch. Right. It's a pleasure to have you in, and I'll have to talk to you about having a look at the couple of things that you brought to my attention. But thanks again for coming in, and we'll catch you around the traps.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
See what I did there, traps?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so there you have it, another episode of Local Focus. I hope you got something out of that one, and if you've got any questions, best way, I forgot to mention, best way to get in touch is through the website. I'll just pop that up there again. So, that's a Facebook page, but it's also, is it amlplumbingandgas.com.au?
Just AML Plumbing.
amlplumbing.com.au.
Not quite as a handful.
All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed that, and that's it. Till next week, till Monday. In the meantime, have a great weekend, and get out there and enjoy it. Catch you later.